At its peak, BlackBerry wasn't just a phone, it was a status symbol. If you were a CEO, a politician, or a Wall Street banker, you had a BlackBerry. It controlled over 50% of the US smartphone market and over 20% of the world's smartphones. And today, that number is effectively zero. How did the world's most addictive phone, the king of QWERTY keyboards, completely disappear? And more importantly, is BlackBerry actually making a comeback? This is the story of BlackBerry, the smartphone that ruled the world, the fall that no one saw coming, and the company's surprising second life that might be even bigger than its first. Before iPhones and Androids, if you were a serious businessman or just wanted to look like one, you had a BlackBerry. Barack Obama had one. So did Kim Kardashian, Justin Timberlake, and even Oprah. In the early 2000s, BlackBerry was the ultimate flex, a phone designed for efficiency, security, and non-stop communication. It was more than a phone, it was a lifestyle. The BlackBerry Messenger, or BBM, was the precursor to WhatsApp, iMessage, and Slack. If you had someone's BBM pin, you were connected in a way that felt exclusive. With its legendary battery life, satisfying keyboard clicks, and unhackable security, BlackBerry dominated the smartphone world. At its peak, over 85 million people used one. So how does a company that's at the top of the world fall so hard that it disappears from the smartphone industry completely? The downfall of BlackBerry didn't happen overnight. It was a slow-motion car crash that took years to unfold. And it all started with a tiny detail that BlackBerry's executives laughed off at first. In 2007, Steve Jobs stepped onto a stage and unveiled the iPhone. A phone that had no buttons, just a touchscreen. BlackBerry's leadership wasn't worried at all. Jim Balsillie, BlackBerry's co-CEO at the time, literally laughed at the iPhone, calling it a toy that no serious business person would ever use. But here's where BlackBerry messed up, big time. They underestimated touchscreens. BlackBerry believed that physical keyboards were a must-have. They saw touchscreens as a gimmick, assuming that no one would ever want to type on a glass screen. But Apple did what Apple does best. It made touchscreens cool, fun, and actually useful. The iPhone's multi-touch interface changed everything. Suddenly, BlackBerry keyboards looked outdated overnight. They ignored the power of app stores. While Apple and Google were building entire ecosystems, BlackBerry's app store was, well, sad. Instead of encouraging developers to build apps, BlackBerry restricted its platform, assuming people only wanted email, calls, and BBM. Meanwhile, Apple's App Store and Google Play exploded. And here's the problem. People don't buy phones, they buy ecosystems. If all your friends are on iMessage, FaceTime, Instagram, and Snapchat, why would you stick with BlackBerry? Even as sales plummeted, BlackBerry refused to change. Instead of fully embracing touchscreens, they kept trying to force keyboards onto modern devices. They wasted years releasing phones like the BlackBerry Storm, a touchscreen phone that was so bad, Verizon gave customers refunds just to switch to something else. In just 5 years, BlackBerry's market share collapsed from 50% to less than 1%. By 2016, BlackBerry stopped making phones altogether. It was game over, or so we thought. Here's where things get interesting. Instead of going down with the ship, BlackBerry's leadership made a radical decision. Forget smartphones. Pivot to software. Today, BlackBerry isn't a phone company. It's a cybersecurity giant. The same encryption technology that once made BlackBerry phones the most secure in the world, that's now being used to protect corporations, governments, and even the military. And here's something you probably didn't know. BlackBerry is in your car. Right now, over 215 million cars worldwide are running BlackBerry's QNX software. Companies like BMW, Toyota, and Volkswagen rely on BlackBerry to protect their connected cars from hackers. Yes, the company that made your old phone is now securing the future of self-driving cars. For years, people wrote BlackBerry off as a dead company. But in 2023, something big happened. BlackBerry's cybersecurity division generated over $900 million in revenue, making it one of the top cybersecurity firms in the world. And here's the crazy part. Some analysts believe BlackBerry could become a multi-billion-dollar player in cybersecurity. So is BlackBerry just another failed brand clinging to life? Or are they actually onto something? BlackBerry isn't trying to beat Apple or Samsung anymore. Instead, they're quietly becoming one of the biggest cybersecurity firms in the world. And with cybersecurity becoming more important than ever, some believe BlackBerry's second act might be even bigger than its first. But what do you think? Can BlackBerry make a full comeback, or is it just a relic of the past? Let me know in the comments. If you love stories about businesses rising and falling, check out my deep dive on Costco. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another business breakdown. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.